Yo, what is up YouTube? Tsquared here. We're gonna get into a gameplay commentary. It's gonna be a tips and tricks video for TFT. We're hopping right into what Set 8 is. It's also the new B patch, so it's as up to date as possible. This is a Grandmaster gameplay. I'm Grandmasters on my main account. We're gonna be diving into my Smurf, which is High Diamond, so hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure you leave comments down below what you guys wanna see and how I did, because I'm new to this and I wanna make sure that we're improving as much as possible. Let's improve together and let's get right into it. All right, so let's get right into it. Now, Set is by far the most meta legend right now. If you have been playing TFT, you've seen tons of Set all over the place in all of your lobbies. Now, the key to a good Set start is understanding that you need a good amount of defensive items and you need items for your carry. And what your carries are going to be, typically you're going to try to go one ace, whether that's Misfortune or Samira. Now, if you're going to go Samira, you want to try to go Sivir. You want to try to have augments that are going to help you boost whatever you have in terms of your stats. And this is a pretty good start. I start off with the cloak, but the thing is, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into a certain composition. I think that's one of the most important things, that I'm not really trying to force anything. I'm going to go and play what the game gives me, and I'm just going to kind of go from there. But I do have an idea of what I'm going to be going fairly early, just based on what my itemization is going to be. So I get an Annie off rip, which is a really great legend to go and work with. I like Annie. I think Spell Slingers are still very good, even after the minor nerfs that happen to Spell Slingers. I think that Star Guardians are still really good too. Again, it's all about your itemization that you have. So because of the fact that I know I'm not going to be going Silas and I get this Annie on my board, it's a stronger legend and I get an opportunity to potentially go Gadgetines. And again, I'm trying to play flex here. I'm not really trying to do anything. Now, quick update on what my account is, what my elo is, etc. This is on my Smurf account, which is currently Diamond 4. It was Diamond 4 when I was playing this game. I haven't played a game since this. So I get a champ duplicator here. That's really good. That's going to help me moving forward in terms of if I do want to, have a 4-star cost or a 5-star cost that I end up running up, or say I go a reroll comp, I'll be in a pretty good spot. But I get another Wukong, I get another Renekton. I'm looking for pairs here. I'm looking to play a strong board. And if I can't find a strong board, then I'm always down to Lost Streak and go for my econ. But one of the keys, again, to TFT just in general is I don't think that's very smart to force comps. I think that playing flexible is the way to go. You want to have an idea of all of the strong compositions, and I'm going to be having videos on basically every single composition. And if you want to see what this comp looks like and you don't want to watch the full video, you can go ahead and click down below and see where to set up, what items you're going to want, etc., etc. I'll make sure to put that in the description below. Now, I see that I have a Kale on the bench. Triforce, Thrill the Hunt. I'm not too stoked on either of these. I don't have items to go maybe Kaisa. I don't have great Vayne items either, so I'm not really looking to go Duelists, even though I have 2 Duelists. And I'm always interested in playing Undergrounds because I feel like it's a very risky type of gameplay, and it's just fun, and I love having fun when I'm playing this game. It's all about that heist addiction, right? I think that's the key word in terms of being able to play your lost streaks as long as possible, and that's what I'm looking to do here. I don't have a very strong board, and because of that, I understand, hey, I'm down to lost streak, but my board's pretty good. I'm not going to lose a ton of HP. My goal is to kill as many units as possible and try to keep as much health as possible while lost streaking. With that being said, I'm not going to slam any items. My itemization here isn't that great. I'm not feeling too good about winning and going on a win streak, so I'm down to just keep my items on the bench. If anything, maybe I'll put a belt on, say like Renekton or Vi, something along those lines, so I can continue to keep that HP on my side. Now, I also have an opportunity to maybe slam the sword onto Kale. That's something that I'm considering, but again, I don't want to win rounds, and I don't think that the sword is going to make a huge difference in killing any extra units. So I can just chill here, let this lost streak continue. And again, this is on my secondary account. On my main account, I'm Grandmasters. We're going to have games coming from that account as well. Going to have a lot of different content coming out for TFT, whether that's how to run certain augments, how to run certain compositions, how to continue to rise from certain elos, whether that's going from bronze all the way up to masters, etc. So I'm excited to continue TFT content for you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy playing the game as much as I do. I stream it pretty often on twitch.tv/Tsquared. Would love if you guys swing by, because I'm always kind of going through the gameplay commentaries and the thought process as I'm going through the game. So as you can see, we get a Jax here. We're 3 out of 10 on the heist, 96 HP. That's a pretty good spot to be, and I'm feeling pretty good about this game in terms of having the Wukong, having good itemization for my set. Now, what are some good set items, you ask? Dragon's Claw Redemption is a great set combination. You're going to be getting a lot of health regen throughout all of that. I also like running a Sunfire Cape on him. You could go Bramble if you're going up against a lot of duelists, or say that you're going up against a lot of recon players, because they're going to be doing a lot of crit. Now, another close fight here. Looks like I'm going to be able to kill some units, and this is another really great loss. Fi got a little confused by the pranksters over here. Kale almost kills the Jinx, and we're still in a great spot. 6 out of 10 on our locks for our heist, and you can see nothing really popping off in terms of getting some good rolls down at the bottom in my shop. So I'm just going to chill on what I have right now, and most likely consider econing, because I can easily sell one of these Renekton's and hit 10 gold. No reason to level. I want to continue my loss streak as much as possible, and I'm still in a really great spot in terms of wanting to go a handful of different compositions. Again, this is a very flexible type of itemization that I have. It's a very flexible start in terms of having undergrounds, and some people will say, hey, you know, why select undergrounds and you're not going to play undergrounds throughout the game? Well, I found the value of the undergrounds, depending on how long I'm going to take my heist, is going to be higher than, say, Thrill of the Hunt or Triforce. I feel like those are decent augments, but based on what I wanted to go, based on what I saw how this game was going to go, I wasn't really interested in either one of those. So it looks like another decent loss, probably a 3-unit loss here, and it is. And 86 HP going into the first carousel, not that bad. I got my econ in my back pocket. We're looking pretty good. Now, right here, I need to start thinking about what items can I slam, because I don't want to fall too far behind. I see a belt on the Vel'Koz, I see a chain vest on the Riven, and I know that a red buff is going to do me some really good early game work here, and I feel like it's one of the stronger early game items that you can get, but it also allows me to stay flexible. And I think, again, that's the key here, is I'm really able to run any composition that I want right now. I could go any which way. When you look at it, you say, all right, he doesn't have a tier, so maybe not Star Guardians, maybe not Spell Slingers, but it's still viable. Say I wanted to put the red buff or the Sunfire Cape on Annie, then that would be really good. It's a very strong item just in general, and it also allows me to hit my 20 gold here and continue my loss streak. And I'm in a really good spot. Again, I have 2 brawlers in. I got Wukong for Mech a little bit later. Kale, you could just kind of pretend that's going to be Samira a little bit later too. And it makes it pretty simple for any transitions that you're going to do. You're not going to end up getting too dizzy. And the way that I'm stacking all of my heroes over towards the side allows me to focus down the first legend. Say it's on the left side of my board. I'm going to be able to have all 4 of my legends focus that and be able to get that kill. And again, I'm trying to kill as many units as possible. So you can see the Rammus is first up here. It's not that great to be clumped up against a Rammus, but unfortunate in terms of this is the person that I was going up. It's a great 2-person knock-up for the Rammus, but we're killing the front line, and that's the most important thing. Get through that front line, get an opportunity to try to get to that back line and kill some more units. Rammus ends up smurfing right there on my Kale, and it cost me maybe a little bit of HP. I don't think that I was going to kill any additional units from that, but still 4 loss streak. Looking for that 5 loss streak going into Krugs. First heist comes, I'm going to continue the heist. I'm not really interested with 80 HP ditching. Plus, when you look at my board and you look at my shop, there's not really anything that I can upgrade on. So might as well continue the heist. And I'm a big fan of going for the 2nd or 3rd heist. I feel like the 4th heist is typically a bait. If you end up running 5 underground, you can continue your heist a lot more. But going into that 3rd and 4th heist, you're starting to lose a lot of HP, and you're forcing yourself to make some really fast decisions when everybody else is spiking. So I feel like it's a lot more logical to take that 2nd or 3rd heist, ditch the 4th heist. I've even had times where my 3rd heist has been better than my 4th heist, and that just a feels bad man moment. As you see, we're going up against a Talon player here. There's going to be a decent amount of Talons in this lobby, if I'm not mistaken, but this is a very good fight for me. We almost kill all of the units, which is not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a loss streak here, and we end up killing the Camille and getting a 1-unit loss, which is huge. You can see I'm not even in last place, and I've lost 5 in a row. I got 30 gold econ, and we're going into Krugs feeling really good about the situation. It's a free level up because I leveled up early here. I find an Ezreal, and that gets me interested in potentially going 5 underground. If I could find a Sona, I'm going to replace the Jax. I'm going to continue my heists a little bit faster. That's going to help me conserve a little bit more HP. And there's a couple of different options here. I could put Kale in place of Ezreal, and if I don't find any gold from the Krugs here, then I would sell the Ezreal for 40 econ. But because of the fact that I have the Ezreal here, I decided I'm feeling good about getting potential gold here, and I do get gold I'm going to keep the Ezreal. I also see the Rammus pop up, and I know that I have a Kale, which is a duelist. I know that Gangplank's a duelist as well. Another belt, we know that's going to go exactly where the Sunfire Cape has, and that's going to go on to Vi. And another sword, so not the best items overall. I'm not able to slam anything ridiculous, but I do have components that I need a little bit later. Say maybe I want to go a Giant Slayer, say that I want to go a Dragon's Claw or something along those lines. And based on this itemization, now you realize what you're going to be playing. And this definitely looks like a set game. So I rolled to try to find a Sona right here. I'm not able to find the Sona. I realize, okay, I'm scouting. I need to put in this Gangplank. I need to conserve HP, and we're still doing the same setup that I was talking about earlier. Clumping over towards one side, making sure that we're focusing the legends directly in front of us and trying to kill as many units as possible while taking the loss. We still have our champ duplicator on the bench, and here we go, going up against another talent. It looks like he's going to probably go Viego a little bit later on. Looks like that's the setup that he's going for. You could also dual carry Talon, but he's already got 50 gold. He's not looking like he's going to be rolling down at 5. I'm anticipating him just to continue to level up and try to find Viego, say at level 7. So this is a pretty good loss. Again, we're killing some units here. Hopefully we can get this Alistar down, and we do. Talon's smurfing in the back, which isn't that big of a deal because we do want to lose this anyways, but you can see the value of the red buff. He's not fully healing throughout all of that. We almost kill this entire board, and that's pretty solid. Wukong almost gets a really big ult right there and killing 2 more units, and he's 1 HP. You can see how low Talon is. Another great loss overall. Now this is a really important augment. Think fast. I'm already level 5. I'm not trying to waste my gold. If I was, say, level 6 or 7, definitely an opportunity to do that. Now, I decide I'm going to roll this. I'm not going to go for undergrounds. I already have undergrounds in, and I'm close to getting my heist over anyway. So the most value for me would be for level up, because I feel like it's better than new recruit. It's still very strong to get new recruit in, but we're talking about going level 9 and 10 very easily here. So I decide I'm going to roll down at 6. I'm going to get my board a little bit stronger. And the reason I'm doing this right now is because we just had a prismatic augment, which is the highest augment that you can get. And I realize if I don't strengthen my board here, other people are going to have extremely strong boards. What if someone else took Think Fast, they rolled down all their gold, and then I'm stuck taking massive damage? I don't want that. So I decide it's smart to roll down here. I realize I'm not going to be going for this Jax type of build quite yet. Might as well sell him. I could have sold the Aurelion Soul. That probably was a little bit of a better decision overall. But we can see, all right, whether it's a win or a lose here, we're still going to get to our second heist. Fighting that Sivir 2 is really big because I know I'm most likely going to be going SETT and Samira here. Aurelion Soul, I don't have the itemization for him. It's nice to hold on to because it's such a strong legend. And you could go some sort of AP composition, say that I wanted to go Misfortune instead of Samira. Then I would hold on to this, itemize my Aurelion Soul, switch that on over to Misfortune once I had the opportunity. And there's my heist. I get a Shroud, Sparring Glove, 7 gold. Was it worth going for that loss streak? Maybe, maybe not, but either way, I'm still going to take that. There's no way I'm going to go for a level 3 heist here. I'd have to sacrifice 4 more. I'm already at level 7 now because of level up, and I'm at 58 HP. I see an opportunity to pick up the Aurelion Souls, and I find a SETT. That's good. I find the Draven. That's good as well. That gives me an opportunity to put Mechs in. Unfortunately, I get a little bit dizzy here, and I'm not able to spread out the way that I wanted to. I'm not able to get my Mech off the way that I wanted to. Ideally, I would have sold the Vi, put the items on the SETT, moved a little bit quicker there, but that's just how it goes. Boomer brain, gotta just do a little bit better next time. I'm on a 7 loss streak. I'm not mad if I go 8 loss streak here. That's going to continue to help me with my econ. And now I'm able to go into the carousel knowing exactly what I need. I need to continue to try to build SETT items. I need to try to find Samira items. And I know that I'm not interested in going this Aurelion Soul because it's just costing too much, right? We have 8 gold on the bench. That Vel'Koz is just sitting there just because it's not going to really help me get on over towards 30 econ. Now, this is a really big decision. I see the Misfortune. I see the SETT. But because SETT has a tier and I already have a belt on top of my Vi, this is going to give me redemption. It's also going to give me 2 SETTs. So this is my opportunity to start building out SETT items. All I am is 1 cloak away from getting the Dragon's Claw, and then I'll be in an extremely good spot in terms of SETT items. I also could elect to use my Champ Duplicator and just have level 2 SETT coming up before the Wolves, which is pretty pogo. So I'm considering using that, but at the same time, I want to try to get it on a Samira, try to get level 2 Samira, try to maybe get a legendary upgraded, something like an Urgot, Fiddlesticks. That'd be extremely pog as well. And now it's time to make the transition. You can see how easy it is basically to make some moves. We know that we're going to be having Set as our mech, set it up so we get him in there with the tier, put the Shroud in a certain spot as well. But you can see there's a little bit of a glitch in terms of being able to put your champ duplicator, or excuse me, your mech item onto the actual mech. And that kind of confused me a little bit. I was like, oh god, I got to bring him on over towards the bench, don't I? We know that the Shroud is going to go on Shogath at this point. We also know that this sword is going to go on to Samira. Might as well slam the IE, put the other sword on her, and boom, we're in a great spot now. Great opportunity to make some moves. Set's going to be Thuming. We got Samira in the back with Sivir for sure shot. We have good synergies on the side. Now, Vel'Koz and Cho'Gath, they're most likely going to be getting sold here very shortly. We're going to be able to find better units. What units those are still remains to be seen, but you can see how much my board was able to spike from that transition. Did it make a big difference that I got the Shroud, that I got the gold, that I got the extra sparring gloves? I think so. It's extra items, right? And later down the road, that Shroud is going to prove very valuable when I'm going up against AP compositions. Speaking of AP compositions, I see Italia in my shop. Not really interested in using that, just buying to take a lot of these out of the pool. But I have my champ duplicator, and I want to try to get something going in terms of figuring out when I'm going to use that champ duplicator. But I also realize, hey, I still have 2 undergrounds in. I could potentially get 3 undergrounds in, and my board's not going to get that much weaker because I find a Vi, and eventually I could get Aegis in, which is going to be really strong going up against AP compositions. Plus I had a 3 out of 10 heist that was already taking place. So this is where the Shroud value is going to come through. I sell my Legends, I put it onto Zach, I get that Misfortune shrouded, and now I'm in a really, really good spot because I'm still going to be able to continue my heist with a very strong board. Talon smurfs on over towards the back line. That's a little bit unfortunate. Mispositioning by me. In a situation like this, going up against a lot of Talons in the lobby, you don't want to have your carries right next to each other. You want to separate them. So the fact that I had Sivir and Samira both right next to each other is a mistake by me. It also cost me this round. So if I was to have the Samira on the right side, maybe things would have worked out a little bit differently. But it is what it is. I still have a decent amount of HP. Plus it's not that bad, again, because I'm losing with undergrounds in. So potentially it's helping me get to a certain amount of gold just a little bit faster. But I still have level up in my back pocket. I still have an opportunity to strengthen my board with the champ duplicator. And going into Wolves, this is a pretty solid start. I think Zach's a very strong legend for this composition as well. He's going to help buy time to keep that Samira alive. I realized the mistake that I made in terms of not having my carries separated from one another, so I'm going to separate those two going forward, and it's all about just kind of scouting and figuring out where the main threats are in the lobby that are going to end up killing my carries, because we know Set's going to be carrying up in the front. And then here comes some big items. The Dragon's Claw comes through. Not a big fan of that belt and that tier. It doesn't help my Samira get any stronger, but hey, we're going to take it, and we're going to continue to strengthen our board either way. And this is where you consider, all right, 24 to level, that's really not that much. The difference between having 30 gold and 50 gold definitely matters, but either way, I want to roll and try to stabilize my board. I find a level 2 Riven. That's going to give me 3 brawlers overall. Not really interested in having 3 brawlers. It'd be better to have 4 brawlers, so I probably should have threw in the Sejuani over the Zach, and that would have been a little bit stronger. But I'm also interested in potentially going for 4 ace here, because I already have 2 ace, and if I could replace Draven for, say, Jax or Wukong, and then I could end up finding Misfortune, I'd be in a pretty good spot. But the thing is my itemization isn't that strong for either one of those legends, and I feel like it's sometimes stronger just to play 1 ace and make sure that you're getting the right itemization onto 1 carry. You don't really want to separate your items throughout a handful of different people unless you're rocking, say, cybernetics, because it just doesn't do the amount of damage that you're really looking for. See, having 3 items on Set is better than having 1 item on Riven, 1 item on Set, and say 1 item on Zach. It just doesn't really make sense in that type of instance. Here comes another augment round. Unfortunately, it's not 4 or 5 costs, but we do see that we already have a level 2 Riven. Might as well buy that. It helps me get to 20 gold as well, and I get an opportunity to roll down and find a Leona, which gives me Aegis too. So I see that Jax really isn't going to do much for me in this type of instance, but I could end up putting the Jax in place of the Wukong a little bit later, putting Sejuani in place of Zach, and then we'd be in a pretty good spot. But I like this current rotation that I have in terms of legends. I'm still considering going on over towards for ace, but look at the synergies that I already have on the side. Plus the next round, I'm going to be able to get some extra gold coming in from underground. Win or loss, I'm 8 out of 10. And that's the strength of undergrounds a little bit later on. We only need 2 in because of our first augment, and we're just going to continue to get value and skyrocket throughout the entire game. Now you can see why the value of the Dragon's Claw is going to be so big here. We're going up against a Zoe. Majority of this composition is AP. I'm not sure what the prankster Belveth is all about. I think that he's probably just holding on to that for a little bit later. But this is someone that is going high roller in prankster. Typically what you're going to do is you're going to go high roller and threats. So I feel like this guy's a little bit dizzy, and I'm not quite sure how much longer he's going to last in the game with that Belveth and the static shift. So we'll see what happens with him. But either way, for me and my board, I'm feeling pretty good, even though I'm currently in 6th place. There goes another heist. I get an item plus some gold. That's a feels good, man. I'm able to go redemption in another belt here. Maybe I could go Warmogs. We'll see what I elect to do here. And it is the Warmogs onto Riven, saving that tier potentially so I can get a little bit of a Hodge action if I wanted the Hodge. And then Fiddlesticks pops up. He's definitely going to be better than Zach 1. I'm not really interested in rolling down for Zach 2. And what this allows me again to do is move the Shroud wherever I need to. So now I'm looking at what my synergies are, where I could improve on my synergies. And I see that I could potentially get rid of this Wukong because I already have 3 Defender in. And I could replace that with Jax and then maybe end up going 4 Brawlers. So if I put Jax in, I put Sejuani in, maybe an Urgot, that's going to be my capped board, and I'll be in a very good spot here. And this is what we were talking about with spreading your items out throughout numerous people. You do not want double Shojins happening. You want your Shojins to be on 1 legend. You don't want to build 2 and put it on 1 legend as well. You're just really not getting high value in terms of damage output throughout all of that. But either way, we're going to move forward with our board, focus on what we're doing. The rest of the lobby is starting to bleed out, which is very good for me. Another big round in terms of the carousel is coming up. Some big decisions need to be made, especially with that Mordekaiser on the board. If he does come my way, he's got a bow. I thought it was going to get grabbed right there. Fortunately for us, this guy goes for the 1 cost for Renekton Rod. And it allows me to either go for level 2 Mordekaiser, or I could just say, you know what? This is 10 gold on my bench. I'm playing level up. I also don't have good items to go and try to spread out throughout everybody because I already have this Shroud on Vi. I have the Warmogs onto Riven. I need to get my Samira online, and it just doesn't really make sense to try to greed and go for 4 ace here. I'd still need to find Misfortune. Finding a level 2 Misfortune doesn't really make sense. And at this point, I'm very interested in hitting 50 gold and stabilizing, and I haven't found another Samira yet, so it just makes sense to use that Champ Duplicator. Did I use that a little bit late? Maybe. Was I greeding? Definitely. I was playing extremely greedy because Champ Duplicators are so important that you don't want to waste them, because it's nothing's worse than when you're rolling down and you use the Champ Duplicator and say I found a set a little bit later on and I know I could have used that on, say, Fiddlesticks or Samira. But at this point, again, a majority of the lobby is going to be getting stronger. This is when you start to lose a decent amount of HP, and the set 2 value is going to be extremely high. Now that I found my second Samira item, I'm feeling pretty good as well about how my board is going to be looking. But you can see the value of the set 2 here. He's just not taking any damage, and that's what I'm talking about with this itemization. Red buff, it's anti-heal. Excuse me, Sunfire Cape, it's anti-heal on their team. Redemption, it's going to continue to heal max percentage of my HP. Same with the Dragon's Claw, I'm getting percentage healing through that, and the mech just has so much HP overall that it's such a great itemization there for set. Now it's time to roll down. Let's figure out what I could get online. It's another Fiddlesticks. That is huge. Now I could fear both sides of the board, and my board is looking scary. I'm the first person in 9 because of the fact that I had level up. I have an opportunity to continue to strengthen my board by getting on over towards level 10. I still don't have full itemizations on my Samira as well. Once that happens, I'm going to get a little bit stronger. And I like keeping my Vi over towards the side where my Samira is, because if the Shroud does connect on a clump of players, it's going to connect on, say, like a Sejuani or something that's going to stop my Samira from being able to pop off. Right here, you can see this Zed is a little bit scary. This is the one person that potentially could end up killing my team and my Samira, so I need to make sure that I'm watching out for where he ends up setting up. But the great news, I'm still undergrounds. I'm still getting free gold, passive income happening the entire time. 2 more rounds of a win, and we're looking at more gold, maybe another item as well. And that's really big because you want to continue to scale. You want your board to continue to get stronger and stronger. Some people are already broke and spent all their gold. You can see that guy's level 7. I was level 9. So we're in such a great spot right here. You see the new pop up. Not really interested in the new. This is my board for now. Other ways that I can improve my board, again, getting rid of Wukong, putting Jax in there, upgrading my Fiddlesticks, and putting Urgot in. Realistically, that's the dream scenario, especially if I can get on over towards level 10. Here, we're hoping for some really great items to put on our Samira, whether that's getting another sparring gloves to make a Hodge, whether that's, anything at all to make her stronger would be great. But right here, we end up getting some extra gold. Not really interested in that. Hoping for something good here. I'm not going to put a static shiv on her. Most likely this is going to be a redemption going on top of my Riven. That's going to allow my SETT to heal even more. That's going to allow my Riven with her augment to give extra shield as well. I do see Jax and I do see Sejuani. And because I hit this level 2 Jax, easy decision to go and put that in there. That's going to give me 4 brawlers. I still have my Fiddlesticks on the bench. If I hit level 2 Fiddlesticks, that's going to be big. And here's the decision. Do I put this on Sejuani or do I put it on Riven? Putting it on Sejuani is going to allow her to ult a little bit earlier. But it's not a level 2 Sejuani. It's just a level 1. And the Riven's going to give value either to SETT or to Sejuani in terms of using her ultimate, because it gives a shield to the nearest legend. And you can see it does give value to the Sejuani, which in return allows her to ult because she just got 2 shields. You saw that come up right there. That's really big. This guy's team looks fairly strong, but again, fortunately for me, I have the Dragon's Claw. My team's looking really good. Level 2 SETT, level 2 Samira. A lot of synergies over towards the left-hand side. We still have undergrounds. We don't even need the Fiddlesticks. He could just sit there and watch Fiddle. You do you, brother. We got this one under control. You can pop off and dance all you want, man. You're still part of the team. Feeling really good about this composition right now. And this is the composition that at certain points, it's just unbeatable, man. If you get your SETT online, if you get a Misfortune or a Samira online, if you get some of these legendaries in like Fiddlesticks and Urgot, there's really not much you can do. You're going to have to hit a 3-star 4 cost or have a better type of mech setup in order to compete with this board, because you can see what happens here. SETT becomes unkillable. We have 4 brawlers in. We have tons of CC. There's CC all over the place. We have CC on the left-hand side. We have CC on the right-hand side. If we get Urgot in, we're going to have CC directly in the middle. At some point, one of your carries on the opposite team is getting frozen. There's going to be nothing that you can do about it. It doesn't matter how strong your board is. If you get to level 10, if you get your SETT online, and granted, you don't have to play level up in order to have this strong of a board, right? You can have other augments that end up being useful. New recruit would have been great in this situation. Say that I had a augment that was a combat augment, that could have been really good as well. But I liked the idea of going level up here. You can see how strong it's making me, especially with the idea of going towards level 10. I'm a big fan of that, and I can't wait to see if I can get this level 2 Fiddlesticks and the rest of my team online. Fortunately for me, again, we got the heist going. It's time to cut and run. Unfortunately, I don't have any components to go with this cloak, but I'm a big fan of that gold. And again, if I can get an Urgot in, who's to say that I'm not continuing to farm more items? That's going to continue to strengthen my board. I don't see a reason to really put this cloak onto anybody quite yet. It could end up griefing me. Say that I find another item for Riven, I'd want to put it on her. Say that I wanted to put another item on Samira. It just doesn't make sense to put that onto Samira. But it's an opportunity, again, to move my legends around, find out where everybody's clumping. I see that they're clumping over towards the left-hand corner here. Big shroud onto this entire team. And again, my SETT is completely online. He's going to eat a majority of this damage that the Misfortune puts out. Plus, we get the Sejuani ult in the corner, and that fight looks basically over. So I'm trying to find out where the Zed player is, because that's the one person that I'm worried about. If the Zed gets onto my Samira, that's not going to be very good for my squad. So it looks like he's still alive, and my team is absolutely fuming. Sorry guys, got the hiccups there for a little bit, but we are close to level 10. Feeling really good about this board. SETT does the most damage out of anybody in the game right there for my team. And here is another big carousel round. Now, there's a couple of items that stand out to me. The Hex Tech looks good. We don't want the Fiddlesticks because that's going to give us level 2 Fiddlesticks, and it's just not an item that we're going to want on Fiddlesticks to begin with. He doesn't attack anyway, so putting the Rage Blade there just doesn't make sense. Find Urgot as well inside of our shop. That's really good, but the Runons is going to give big value here to Samira. This is almost best in slot Samira items. You could say Last Whisper is another really great item. We know Guard Breaker has been extremely popular as well, but for me, not seeing many Bramble Vests, if any, I really like this itemization. I feel like this is almost best in slot items for Samira. I think that Giant Slayer is a must. Runins is almost a must. A lot of great opportunities here to put down some serious damage. Now, this is what I was trying to do, is avoid the Zed. Unfortunately for me, I moved to the side that the Zed is at, and I try to move my Samira into the front. So I basically griefed myself. I could have just kept her in that right-hand corner and everything would have been fine. And I think this may end up costing me the round. We'll see. My team is still fairly strong overall. SETT is continuing to put in work. Riven's putting in work. Fiddlesticks gets in with the big fear. And it actually looks like even though my Samira dies here, I'm still level 9. And this guy is level 7. That should be all she wrote for him. I don't think that these little Laser Corp lasers are going to do much against my gigantic SETT with a Dragon's Claw. GG by the Urgot. Looking to level up to level 10 here. And that's huge because that was the main threat in my lobby that I wanted to take care of. That allows me to go 1v1 against this guy, who I believe is running AP as well. He does have a Zephyr, so that's something to look out for. Is he going to end up Zephyring my SETT? Is he going to go for the Samira instead? Remains to be seen. Great upgrades right there. Finding level 2 Vi is really nice. Finding an extra Urgot is really good too. He puts his Zephyr to the bench. Very, very sneaky by this guy. And I see, okay, he's got him in the corner. I'm not quite sure why I didn't move my Samira here. I think I was just so focused on hitting the Shroud that I didn't end up moving it. But I don't think the Shroud's really going to matter on my Samira. She's going to get right back online almost immediately. My positioning is so good in terms of we have CC all over the board. We have Sejuani on the left-hand side. We have Urgot in the middle, Fiddlesticks is on the right-hand side, and I'm not too concerned about losing to an AP composition when I have Dragon's Claw. The only thing that could really take me down here is if he was able to find level 3 Soraka, and that most likely would end up winning the game, and it would be his win condition. So another big round win there. Moving on to the next round, we're also continuing to get gold, which is great. We're able to continue to find high cost legendaries because of the fact that we're level 10 and we have a 25% chance of finding a legendary. But I have to be careful of this Zephyr because especially if my Mech ends up getting Zephyred, that's something that could end up screwing me over. The Samira, she's able to recover. The Mech, that's going to allow them to get to my entire back line. And I'm not really trying to have my SETT end up trying to 1v8 this entire team. So I got to be very careful of where that Zephyr is going to be. We'll find out exactly what items we're going to be able to get here too very shortly. But right now it's all about the positioning and trying to figure out what's going on because we want to try to avoid, again, getting SETT taken out of the game, opportunity to continue to either find defensive items or the Archangel Staff wouldn't be too shabby on top of our Fiddlesticks here because he is going to continue to power up. We know we're most likely going to hit level 2 Fiddlesticks. We find a Sejuani, we find a Leona in the shop. That's going to continue to make SETT stronger. We also find level 2 Urgot, which is great. Now it's time to scout, figure out exactly what this guy's up to. If I remember correctly, this guy is the Zephyr Master. Anywhere I would move, my boy Mudkip Furyhorn, he was on top of it. The guy just didn't miss. So no matter what I did with my positioning, the dude was a beast. I just couldn't get away from him. I'm like, all right, let's swap over here. Let's go over there. Let's put the Shroud this way. I've been duped, man. The guy, look at this. He's got the Zephyr in the perfect spot for my Samira again. Fortunately, it's not on the SETT, but that's a little concerning because now I'm not on the right side with my Urgot either. I don't know if Sejuani's going to get her ultimate off in the right spot. She does get a big ult. It does pop off, but this guy is the Zephyr God. Let's be serious. The dude is unstoppable. The only way that I could realistically lose this if he was to end up getting a level 2 Leona, moving itemization on over towards the Leona, and then immediately focusing Leona onto the SETT. That's an opportunity to try to kill the Mech, and that could end up counter what I'm doing. He gets away with 1 HP there, and we're going on over towards the next round. Just going to try to continue to find more legendaries throughout all of this. Hopefully I can hit this level 2 Fiddlesticks. That would be great. Level 2 Sejuani would make me just a little bit stronger as well. And I don't think his board's going to get any stronger. Unfortunately, I don't find that Fiddlesticks, but we do get the big upgrade on top of our Sejuani. Now, he's 1 HP. Hopefully we can pull this one off. Again, I'm trying to avoid the set being taken out of the game. I think that's the key thing here. So I end up moving everybody around, and I missed my Shroud, which is a little bit unfortunate. And the Zephyr does go in on towards the set. He ended up selling his Yuumi, putting the Zephyr onto the Leona, and that's what I was worried about. Sejuani doesn't get a good ult off. It's a one-person ult. The fear happens on the backhand side. Urgot gets a good wave off, but it's just not enough. It's not on the Soraka mainly. And because my Samira is on the left-hand side, she ends up walking up and getting focused by the Soraka, which is the last thing that I would needed right there. If the Samira was on the right-hand side, say where Sivir is, that would be a lot better for me. And this looks like a round loss solely based on positioning, so I cannot afford that to happen. But it also goes to show you this guy's board isn't as weak as we think it is. We have to take this guy fairly seriously. Fortunately for us, we're still leveling up. We're still getting stronger in terms of our board. Our power level's definitely over 9,000. There's the level 2 Fiddlesticks. And that should be all she wrote. I mean, my board is looking unstoppable. As long as I just don't have a major mistake in terms of positioning again, I'll be in a really good spot. Gotta just continue to try to juke where this guy's gonna go. But he is the unjukable Mudkip Fury Horn. Again, the dude just doesn't miss when it comes to landing those Zephyrs. So I end up playing a little bit sneaky here. I'm like, all right, let's move our set all the way over towards the right hand side. Let's move our Samira all the way over towards the right hand side, and let's put our Fiddlesticks over there as well. Now the key is again, you can see the Leona is on top of my set. Because my Samira is away from where this Soraka is, I'm in a good spot, and it's GG. I mean, we're just clapping cheeks at this point. The Chalice Snow Cone ends up going on to Sejuani, and that's a big dub. Love the way that this game ended up unfolding. Hopefully you guys did too. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments down below. We have a lot more TFT gameplay commentaries coming your way. Make sure that you like, subscribe, leave some feedback. What do you want to see? Where can we make improvements on? Tsquared, I'm out. We'll see you guys on stream, twitch.tv/Tsquared.